I'm going to be showing you the simplest and easiest way to start trading in 2026. No, I'm not going to be showing you how to trade. I'm not going to be showing you any fancy charts, anything like that. This is purely just how to get started and what you need to get started. The first and probably the most important thing is a software to actually mark up on. Markup is your analysis, your learning. This is where everything's done for me personally. And I think everyone. I think this is the only one. TradingView. I'm not sure if anyone uses anything else, but me and everyone I know uses TradingView. So obviously this is my charts. This is what I'm looking at right now, but that is useless to you. So this is as if you're fresh coming onto TradingView. So this is what you'd see straight away if you opened up TradingView. If you look here, this is where you add anything. So let's say you want to, there we go, USD CAD, boom. You want to add that there, add it there, and it comes in here. Obviously this is where you can label stuff. If you want to add any little section here, so you see here, obviously I've got a couple models. We're not going to go into anything like that yet, but for me, I've got a couple of variations of my model. So I put them in their little labeled sections, which you can do here. If you just click, add section, boom, add section there. Now that's that section. Now I'm going to delete it and then back into mine. So that's that side of stuff. That's where you add your pairs, whatever you're trading. Move me back over here. But this is what your chart will look like straight away when you open it. So obviously, you don't need any of this shit down here. So this is an indicator, a volume indicator. So you come here, you see this little drop down arrow, volume ticks, there it is. Get rid of that shit. So if you see here for me, I've got a nice little fancy name thing up here. You're probably gonna want something like that. If you're on your charts all day, you're gonna at least want to like looking at it. So I will show you how to do that quickly. So that is, if you come in here, indicator, and you type, there it works right there, AGFX watermark, add that, then that will give you this. And obviously you come in here, click the cog for settings, boom. The title bit does obviously this part, and then this subtitle is the lower one. So you can add that, customize it a little bit. Like you'll see here, like this chart isn't exactly what yours will look like, because I've already done what I'm about to show you. So you can come on here, you can right click, it will bring up, right click anywhere on this screen, it will bring up the settings bit here. And this is where you can kind of customize the look of your chart. So you see here, like boom, red, candles are red, borders, wicks. This is, so symbols where you do the candles. Obviously I'm quite simple, white and gray. Canvas is where you can come to do the background. So obviously I'm pretty sure the basic thing is white background and it's got grids and stuff on it. So if you came on that, grid lines, you can turn them on. Me personally, I have them off because I think it looks shit, but you might like it. Grey background, whatever background you want. This is fully customizable, but this is basically the main thing you need. You can have this on your phone as well, but like laptop is what you want. Laptop, PC, maybe an iPad with a key, whatever you've got at the start, it doesn't matter. Preferably a laptop though. You literally use this for everything. So this is the main thing you need. You can get it for free, which is a good thing. Everything I'm about to say you can do for free, but the free version is like getting the minimum version of everything. So like this doesn't let you do certain things, doesn't let you save, doesn't let you whatnot. The other stuff I'll go into, the free versions, obviously like there's a reason it's free, but it's still, you can do this all for free. So yeah, this is where you come on for everything. This left side here is your toolbar. So this is everything. So horizontal line, boom, Fibonacci tool. This is what I use personally for my entry. But you see here, this little arrow will pull out all these other options. And then for me, obviously, I don't know what you're going to use yet. If you're watching this, you probably don't know what you're going to use yet either, unless you're about to trade the same way as I do. Then you'd be using these. But what you can do is when you come out to this like drop down, drop out sort of menu, if you click the little star, add these to favorites, it will add it to a little toolbar here. So like here for me, I've got everything that I use on a day-to-day. Just there, ease of access. So that's the main thing you need. The first thing you'll need coming into learning trading would be the software that you're going to learn on. Not necessarily learn on, but this is what you use all the time. You can still use this to learn on, but what we're going to go through next is what I personally used to learn from, and well, to learn on, not from. And I'm pretty sure most people use this or a different version of this, but it is a backtesting software. So this is what you'd be live trading on, the TradingView. You can still backtest on this technically, but it's shit, so I wouldn't even bother. Like, what we'll go through next is you can have a full P&L. It's exactly like trading, so it's perfect. Same with anything, like you're never just gonna go in and straight game time. You're gonna train first. So where do we train? Backtesting software, which is, for me, I used FX Replay. I know a lot of the boys, pretty much everyone else uses TradeZeller, they're called, but for me, I use FX Replay. So this is FX Replay here. I've set it up perfectly for, as if you watching this, say coming off this, you could follow this in order and be so much more prepared to start learning. Like, this isn't, I'm not teaching you how to trade or anything, just I'm showing you exactly what you need to then learn. Obviously, a couple bits in here will be very helpful, but I'm doing this as if I'm you. So like, we done the TradingView then, we opened it up fresh, got rid of that shit, added some shit, whatnot. But so this, I've literally just made my account. If you see above my name here, free. So this is the free account. I think the only difference is the paid accounts is like you can retain more data. So say you backtest for 6 months, you can't backtest for 6 months on the free version. I think it's 1 month at a time. Whereas obviously the paid ones, you can backtest years, and it will give you all of your data, which is what I used to collect my data originally. But this is what you'll do coming onto this straight away. So you create your account. Obviously, I don't have to show you how to do that, but come to the dashboard, backtesting session, name your session. We'll just do test for now. 100K, yeah. Assets, let's just do Euro USD. Oanda, chart layout. So this will look exactly as TradingView would. But chart layout, you can kind of edit it in here, which is very useful for doing, like if you are, which you should do, when you are going to do your back testing, whether it's months, years, it should be years you're collecting. It's almost worth editing this chart on here because you're going to be looking at it for ages. You're going to be looking at it probably more than you're going to be looking at TradingView at the start. So you want that changed. And then you choose the date here. So obviously with the free trial, it's a month max. There's no point choosing more longer than a month period because you can only backtest a month's worth of data on the free version. So I am literally just going to backtest this month so far. I'm not going to backtest. I'm just going to show you how though. So you'd be opening this right now. Obviously, at this point you're assuming that you've maybe found a strategy, you've got a strategy, you know where you're going to learn one. Whatever situation you're in, you're going to need this to get your data. We'll go into data and why it's important in a little sec, but this is purely practice, I'd say. This is practice, getting used to seeing how the chart works, getting used to see it, because using this is the exact same as using TradingView, like mechanics-wise. So you're going to use this, then you're going to be able to go on TradingView and it's going to be a piece of piss. But if you're trying to find your own strategy and you're going to be here backtesting, and then collecting your data. Obviously, you can see up here my live data. I'll go on to that next. I can show you like what to track, to try build your own, to build a valid system, to know what data is valid from what you journal. This is for practice, and this is where you'll get your data. Again, like I said there, boom, this little drop down, get rid of this shit. Obviously, this is just for my strategy. I don't know why there's these fucking massive ones. Let me get rid of them. Shit. Right, yeah. Boom. Get rid of them. And if you don't want that on the screen, I'm not going to sit here and change the colours and whatnot right now because I'm not going to use this past this video. Maybe, no, I will, to be fair. Backtesting with mentees here and there. But other than that, I do not use this. Let's just go into this a little bit more. So you'd open up FX Replay, like I've gone through with you on TradingView. This is everything that you need down here. So let's go add what I need quickly. So boom, trend line. Let's get that out of the way. Trend line, horizontal ray, vertical line. Boom, fib. Long and short tools. And honestly, that's it right now. So you'd come on this with your strategy. Obviously, if you're testing out a strategy, then you'll just be marking out what you're testing. So for me, I'm just going to show you how to backtest with my strategy that I use, which is very simple. So what I'll do is I'd come in making sure that we're in the right time zone first. So here, time zone, scroll for whatever time zone you're in. Me personally, UK. So you see here as well, this is an annoying one for me and anyway. You see how like you can move side to side, but you can't move it freely. Hover over this bar, you see that A, click that, and then boom, now you've got access. Also up here, I just realized I didn't even show this in TradingView, which is why we're in here anyway. So this is perfect. Up here in the corner, I'll show it in TradingView now actually. You see here, these are the time frames that I use. Daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 5 minute. This drop down, it's exactly the same as there. Boom, you favorite the ones that you use the most. You switch in between these. I'll use the daily, the 4 hour and the 1 hour for my bias. And then I use 5 minute. It is mainly 5 minute. And then the 15 minute occasionally for entry. So back here, so like I just said there, 5 minutes, that's what I use, 5 minute, 15 minute. I use the 4 hour, the 1 hour and that, but we're not gonna go through bias and that now. We're purely gonna be, I always put my things to 1 as well, by the way, 1 thickness, because it just looks shit otherwise. But yeah, let me mark this out as I would. I need to be on the 5 minutes. So every day when I come into the session, so for me, London session starts at 8 a.m. UK time. So let's say 7:45, 7:45 now, I'd come and mark out this. So I'd mark out Asian session, which is from midnight till 8 a.m. UK time. And this would give me Asian session. So I mark out Asian session high and low. Also here, you see how it's like, it's free roaming. Like say I wanted to get it on this low, it could be a bit off. All you got to do is come here and click this magnet. So this will just make it lock on, which you'll see now. Look, you see how it's locked onto that high, this low, it's locked on. We'll be marking out both Asian session high and low, which will give us these two areas here, which we'll be waiting for a sweep. Obviously, I understand you might know nothing that I'm saying right now, but this is purely just showing you how to backtest and how like real it is. I need to replay it a little bit because it's gone past my fucking trade. I don't think you can replay it on the free version, but you see that we swept the high first, so I wouldn't even be interested in the low now. So for me, we swept, I'm just going to go through this part quick because my strategy doesn't matter to you guys. You're not going to be learning this right now. And if you do want to learn it, drop a comment, drop a question, message me, and I can help you out. But I'm just going to go through my strat quickly now and just show you how this software works. Here, we've marked out previous session high and previous session low. We'll go through this one quick, no stops, straight through, show you how it works. Right, so I'll play price out. Right, we swept here, means I'm deleting here, deleting that. We've had our sweep. We swept the high, so we're bearish. We had our first red candle after the sweep. Obviously, color doesn't matter, but for this example, that's how I'm showing you. Bearish candle, down candle, red right now. So we had our first red candle, which means that we're dragging our fib from previous session plus current session range. We then wait for this breakout zone to be tapped into. Boom, tapped into there. Now we're waiting for a breaker structure to the downside to a fractal. Fractal because it makes it easier to decide what's valid and what's not, which makes what we're doing now, which is practicing, we're in the playground, no real money, mistakes don't matter, but what you want is what you practice to be exactly what you're going to be doing live in the markets, which is obviously why me personally, I've gone for a mechanical option because basically everything I do here, I do it exactly the same in TradingView, in the live markets, and that's what I execute day in, day out. What you're watching right now is exactly how I trade and how simple it is. So at this point, I'm dragging my fib from the high of the sweep. So again, we swept here, but we haven't broke till here and it's gone higher. So it's the highest point after the sweep to here. Then entry on the 618, stop loss here, target in 1R. And now this is where it's actually fun. Obviously, it's not fun at all. It might be fun at first. find what works and just use it and test it yourself. You're going to have to test, because if you're watching this, you probably have no idea how to trade. So you need to test just to get used to spotting what is. Because, yeah, what I've just said probably makes no sense, but it might make sense to someone just from, they might just be an understanding person. But there's a difference between understanding and applying. Like, you might not know what's a valid sweep. You might not, even though there is only one valid sweep. If it touches that high, that's a sweep for me. You might not know what a breaker structure is. So you need to practice these things right here. But yeah, this is the fun part. I might be an idiot and I don't know where it is, because I don't use the free one usually. I'm only using the free one because this is the most accessible thing to you watching this video right now. But I can't find it. Usually, what you can do is when you place this down, it lets you place a limit order. So a limit order is what I use, because it's kind of the best for the way I trade. For me, a limit basically means I'd place a sell there, meaning that when price comes up to here, it gets me in the trade and it presets everything. But because I can't do that, I'm just going to wait for it to come to entry and then do the rest. So I'm going to be playing price out now, and I need it to come back. Now we're at our entry. Obviously, I'm not saying that you're going to be trading my strat. Whatever strategy you use, if you've got a paid version, you can set price limits, which is perfect for my strategy, which is what, obviously, if you trade this way, that's what you'll be using. You'll be using a limit. So when it came back up here, you'd have the limit on there. So you'd be entered right now. But because we can't do that, we're just going to enter here. So you'd come down here, sell, and then you'd drag your stop loss to there, drag your take profit to there. Makes it a bit more fun, makes it a bit more real, and it just shows you actually like what you'd be experiencing in the live market. So I'll play price out again now. So here we are in Bosh, and there we go. Just like that, in, out, shows you everything, full P&L here, and then that's how you test. So you see there, as if it's real price action, because it is, it's just past price action. You do exactly as you would live. So that's the exact trade that I would have took. Look, let me look. Wednesday first. Give me a second. I'll go into it. So my strategy, exactly how I do live, I just executed right there. So we swept, we faked out, we broke structure, I dragged the fib for entry. We would have had a sell limit, but obviously I was using the free one for this video. Entered there, take profit there, P&L there. So that is how you test whatever model you're going to use, whether you're trying to build one yourself or use a model that's already been proven, which is probably the best thing to do. Like, you can build one yourself, but you're just adding more time. I added so much time onto my journey. By doing that, basically that is how you test whatever model you're going to be trading. TradingView for the live trading, FX Replay or TradeZetta, same softwares, whatever you want to pick. This is just what I use because you can use the free one. But yeah, that's how you're going to be testing whatever strategy you're going to be trading. Say it is your own strategy that you're trying to build, or even if it is someone like me, I used a strategy that was made by someone else, proven it had worked, but I still needed to test. I still needed to test it because you need to prove it to yourself that you know it works by collecting years of data. If you're going to be finding your own strategy, it's going to be even harder because you're going to need to be split testing to know what's better. So maybe like through one trade, you're tracking 4 different entries, 3 different stop losses, 3 different take profits, and tracking all of them to give you your overall, which is the better strategy, which is going to be obviously down to overall data, total R, and maybe win streaks and loss streaks. Or anyway, so data, how do you track it? With a journal, which is right here. It's the easiest. That trade that I just went through then, Wednesday the 1st of April, that's right here. So this is how I track it. This is my data. So this is what you probably should use as well. Me personally, I track the day, the date, the session, London or New York. Obviously, you might trade Asia. If you trade Asia, put Asia in there. Pair, position, so short or long, buy or sell, win or loss, the R gain, so risk to reward, what you risk versus what you lose. So like I showed you there, one risk to reward. So if I risk 500 and I lose 500. If I win 500. Pretty simple there. Total R. So obviously you want to be tracking this. These last 2 are just personal to me, what accounts and whether they're evals or live. But the total R, this will give you whether what you're doing is working. So I wish I could go and show you all of my years of data, but I have no idea where they all are. So I cannot be doing that, but I can show you what I've been doing this year so far. So like I said here, this is what you track. This is how you know whether what you're doing is working. So say you're finding your new strategy, you're building one, you're taking a confluence from that, and you want to test it. I just showed you how to test it. Now how to track whether it works is on here within the journal. You might have came through 3 losses in a row. Say you started testing from the 16th of Jan, and then you hit 3 losses in a row. You're going to be looking at like, oh fuck, this strategy is not profitable, whatnot, which is why you test over a long period of time. You could have been scared there because this is split over, it's not that long actually, it's split over from Friday to the following Tuesday. But there's examples like me, I had it once where it was literally like 6-7 weeks where we had 5 trades total and they all lost. Like imagine that with no data, you'd quit after not trading for 2 weeks and then a loss, which is why we track data. So like me and everyone else who trades the same way as me, we all stuck through this loss. And then the next 3 trades were 3 wins, with one being a 6.8R. So the use of your journal would be to track this stuff live and gaining data. So obviously this is my live data. This is all the trades I've taken. And then you'd use the same format as we just went through there. Obviously this is my live one. You'd have a back testing one. It's the same as how I've just showed you TradingView. TradingView is what you're going to use for your everyday stuff live. Once you're actually trading, even you might still be just back testing, but just having it there live, because there's no harm in marking up your strategy throughout the day and seeing how it works, tracking it. You can still track it in a journal, but just acknowledge that you're not trading it, and then restart the journal when you start trading it for your live one. And then back testing. Obviously back testing simulated. Like I just showed you there, within a couple minutes, we had gone through a whole day's worth of data, 2 trades. So it's like you can really smash through it once you learn how. Like you can use that software purely for each part of your strategy as well. Say you're practicing a certain sweep or defining a certain sweep, you can use that just for that. Say it's just for a valid breaker structure, you can use that just for that. If you're testing variables, so like for us, we tested, let me put it up here. So like for us, we tested having the 1 as our stop loss and the 1.025, and we found out over, not a little sample size, we found over years of data, this increased the R massively. This is how you find your edge in trading. We're not going to go into any of that, but the next thing you need the first software, which is TradingView. That's where everything's going to be happening. Obviously, in between, you need to find your strategy or decide what you're going to do with your strategy, but this is what you need to start. Then you need a backtesting software, FX Replay, TradeZeller, somewhere to practice, somewhere to find out what works. You might already be, like me, copying a strat that works. You need to test it to get it into your own head that it does work. Then you need something to track that. Track your live data, track your backtested data, track what's working, track what's not working. Here's your journal. Obviously, you can use whatever. I use Google Docs. You can use Excel. This is exactly the same thing. Google Docs is free. Again, if you want to do this all free, you can do the free TradingView, you can do the free FX Replay, and you can do this for free. So this far in, look how much you can learn. Obviously, like this is just what to use. When you go and use it, you can do this all for free so far. So I use this. You can use it, TradeZeller, if you want to use that. That has a journal in it and the backtesting software. So that's a 2-in-1. I'm pretty sure everyone who I live out here with uses TradeZeller. I don't personally, but I just keep it simple to this. They're the 3 main things that you need to start actually trading. It's just a software to trade on, a software to practice on, and somewhere to track what you're doing. Because just backtesting is pointless. Just looking at the charts is pointless. You need to know what you're looking for and why. But that is the most simple way to start day trading in 2026. If you have any questions, comment them below, message me. All of my links in the description. If you want to join the free Discord, that's in the description as well. Any help, any questions you've got on anything that I've just gone over, whether it's prop firms, news, backtesting, softwares, just in general about me, just fire them away. And I'll see you in the next one, boys.